Hi, welcome to another great episode of Spotlight on Great Blacks and Wax. I'm Sully Myrie. We have another wonderful episode for you today. Don't go anywhere.
As we unveil Bishop George E. Battle, could we have a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I thank the families, and I certainly thank our inductees for trusting us to preserve your legacy. Thank you.
Welcome back to Spotlight. We are here with Dr. Barbara Shaw, and she is the chair for this wonderful event that we're having today. And please, can you tell me a little bit about the process in coordinating such an event?
Well, one of the major things that Elma and Joanne wanted was to tell the story of African Americans, tell the whole and the true story. And there were so many categories that they fall in. Last year we did the educational journey where we honored 4 presidents. This year we are doing the spiritual uplift journey where we are honoring persons of faith. We have been planning for the last 10 months. We've been meeting, we've been collaborating, we've been dreaming, we've been wishing. And today it comes to the point where we have done all that we can do. Now we're just waiting for the shouting. Because you know, as church folk, we do shout when things go well. And so we are so proud of the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum. We honor the memory of Elmer, but we love Joanne, who has continued to carry on the fight to make this a great museum, a national, only one of its kind. And so today we honor, known throughout the world as Bishop George E. Battle, who is the senior bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church.
The group that's forming on the stage right now behind me is here to give vocal tribute to Bishop George Battle. I should tell you, they have traveled all the way from North Carolina. As we say, North Kakalaki. And they are here really ready to perform in his honor and to perform on behalf of the Greater Gethsemane AME Zion Church. It is the concert choir under the direction of Mr. Travis Alexander. Please join me in giving him a nice, warm, additional round of applause. Thank you. Dr. Staccato Powell began to make his way to the stage so that he can do the formal presentation of both the biography and the legacy of Bishop George E. Battle, our honoree today, and a new...
The last time I had the opportunity to be with our Master of Ceremonies was in Washington, D.C. a few years ago, about 10 now actually, when we were both protesting at the Supreme Court and arrested. I decided then I'm not sure he was good company to keep. It is my singular honor and the personal privilege to present an individual who I met when I was a freshman at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, while he was serving as the senior pastor of the Gethsemane African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. Though it is only 241 miles between Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and Baltimore, Maryland, it takes about 4 hours and 49 minutes in driving time. His path to this place was circuitous and meandering at best. Unless we become mesmerized with this monumental moment of glory, I need to tell you a little bit about how he arrived at this station in life. He went south to come north. We went down 85 from Rocky Mountain, down 77 to Rock Hill, South Carolina, where he studied at Clinton Junior College with all of his worldly possessions in a brown paper bag and with $50 in his pocket. He did not let that deter him. Because one of the great challenges of our community today is perhaps the absence of fathers in the home. And when George Sr. decided that he would absent himself from the family, instead of George Edward Battle Jr. becoming bitter, he became better and personified his surname of Battle. For his reaching this place has become a battle against the odds, and what odds they were. From Clinton Junior College, he went on to Livingstone College, where he now chairs the Board of Trustees. While he was in Charlotte at Gethsemane Church, he rose to the heights of chair of the school board, where he served for 17 years, ensured that an African-American architect and contractor would become a part of those who received contracts to build schools. And he helped former Mayor Harvey Gantt contract of an African-American to build a school in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg system. If you will read the bio in the booklet, you will see more of Bishop Battle's achievements. I failed to tell you, though, he's not only done great things in the community, he is a brilliant financier. He has been tapped by some of the great banks of this country, now Wells Fargo, previously Wachovia and First Union, to be a member of their bank board. I could talk about his greatest legacy, sits next to him, have been sitting there for 44 years on yesterday. Mrs. Iris Miller Battle, the pride of Rock Hill, South Carolina, China Road, baby does. Bishop Battle says the one thing that allured him to Mrs. Battle was she told him she could play the piano, and he was in desperate need of a pianist as a pastor. So he decided he would get 2 for 1, a wife and a pianist, only to discover she plays not one note. But we come here to celebrate this tremendous achievement, and he personifies the fact that the heights of great men reached and kept is not done by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were upward toiling in the night. That's Battle's story. second of 8 children, called affectionately by his siblings who sit here among us today as bruh. One of his lifelong friends said about him just the other day that when his father left their family, he looked across the field and saw battle, and he said it was 8 of them and only 2 of us. And when I saw bruh, he became the man in my eyes. And you cannot substitute for peer influence in one's life. It is my happy privilege to present now my friend, the giant of an individual whose mantra in life, he aspires to inspire before he expires. And he continues to do that. And he takes up the lines of the prose. To every man that openeth a way, a ways and a way. And the high soul climbs the highway, and the low soul grows the low. But in between, on the misty flats, the rest drift to and fro. But to every man that openeth a highway and a low, and every man must decide the way his soul shall go. George Edward Battle Jr. has chosen the highway of life. Servant of God, well done. I present the Right Reverend George Edward Battle Jr., the Senior Bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Lining Church, elected.
Thank you, Dr. Powell, for that great introduction. Thank you, Dr. Joanne Martin, who with your late husband created the National Great Blacks in the Wax Museum. To Mr. John Wilson, Deputy Director, I am delighted and humbled and indeed gracious for this great honor for me and my church. I also want to thank all of the people that have worked to make this happen. I would be derelict if I did not mention Dr. Barbara Shaw, who called me every day, it seemed like for a year. I also want to thank that great choir from Charlotte, North Carolina. Led by extraordinary musician, Mr. Travis Alexander. I remember listening to Dr. Carter preach as an AME Zion person in Charlotte, North Carolina, Dr. William Lee. He was an extraordinary preacher, but more than that, he was an extraordinary gentleman that did not care about denomination because he recognized none but the righteous. So I am honored to be up here with the late, great Mahalia Jackson. I'm honored to be in the same sentence with Dr. Carter and the senior bishop of the AME Church, who's a renowned preacher, scholar, and gentleman who have preached all over the world. I'm honored to be up here with him. I couldn't stand up here and accept this recognition without thanking our board of bishops. We have one with us today, Bishop Michael Frenchie, and I am delighted that he is here, but our church prayed for me and worked with me, and we are a team. Bishop Ryan will tell you God has just allowed us to be elected a little longer, but we are nobody's boss. those days are over, where one person can speak for the whole church. I couldn't stand here without thanking my wife. My lady who told me when I was asking her the questions about marriage, could she play? Oh yes, I play. And I never saw her play, so I thought she was just a closet piano player. But when I got married and I had a church with a piano and no player, I said, Miss Babel, you will now play the piano. She said, oh no, I won't. So I asked you to pray that my wife will learn how to play the piano. I also want to pay personal homage to my children, George III and LaChandra, for making our lives so complete. You cost us a lot. We will never be rich, but you have so enriched our lives. With your wonderful partners, Renita and Michael, but most of all, the greatest gift you have given us, Trey, Alec, Peyton, and Eli. And whenever I need somebody to afford me an opportunity to tell me how great I am, I just pick up my grandkids who are the only one that will ride with me and take them to a store and buy them a gift. And they tell me how great I am until I get them home. But thank you anyway. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I'm a proud member of Livingstone College. And what can you say when the president, his athletic director, is getting married today, but chose to come and be with me? Dr. Jimmy Dickens. I want them to stand. I also have a special group here, my family, biological family, brothers, cousins. While we are in many states, I want them to just stand so you can see how blessed I am to have so many people. I would also like to present to you and introduce to you my executive assistant who works in my office. She has no job description. She does whatever needs to be done. And I would like to present her, Ms. Janice Jones. One important fact that I like to say about our school, Livingstone College, as I get ready to take my seat. For almost 70 years we've been in the CIAA tournament, playing basketball. Never have we ever won the CIAA tournament. So everything is coming into full fruition for me. Livingstone College won the tournament. And our class had the highest academic average of any of the 12 schools in the CIAA tournament. Look at me here, receiving this man over here that looks something like me. What a blessing. I am reminded of what Shakespeare said. He said that we make our entrance. And what happened between our entrance and exits? I am heading toward my exit. But I want to thank you for making this day so special in my mom's life, who is watching over me right now. The Amazon Church get tired of me telling the story, but Jesus said I must tell it. Because I'm not here because of you, I'm because of who He is. I'm not here because men of high places called my name. I'm here because I had a mother who had a 10th grade education that every night before she went to bed, she demanded that we say our prayers. I'm here not because people want to be something special, because the only thing we wanted to do was to survive. And the only thing that I wanted to do when I was young was to graduate from high school. But God had another plan for my life. From the tobacco patches of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, in Edgecombe County, picking cotton, 30 cents an hour, now to lead the greatest church on this side of heaven. That's what God had in store for me. So you can say whatever you want or whatever you will, or act however you want. But I believe if you seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, all of this other mess will be added. I might not be one of the eloquent speakers you've heard. That doesn't bother me, because as long as I can get a prayer through, as long as I can touch heaven, when my way gets dark and I can't see my way clear,
We hope that you learned a lot today. We hope you enjoyed the show and come back next time.